Do you believe that the person destined to be with you for life might arrive fashionably late after you've waited so long? But when he truly walks into your world, you'll suddenly realize all the waiting before was to welcome this person. Some say this is love's romance. Some say it's fate's arrangement. But when we expand our view far enough to the scale of the universe, you'll discover such waiting and lateness is remarkably similar to the universe's own story. When you think deeply about it, you'll find a more profound question. Why does everything in the universe go through endless waiting before encountering light and meeting, and is our love also a reflection of this cosmic law? The universe was born in the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years ago. In that moment, time and space ignited simultaneously. But do you know, for the first 380 million years after the Big Bang, the entire universe was shrouded in darkness. Not a single star, not a ray of light. Scientist Abraham Loeb called this period the universe's dark age. Just like that person we wait for who hasn't arrived yet. The universe in this phase was also gathering strength in the long emptiness. Until cosmic dawn arrived, the first stars ignited, turning darkness into a starlit night sky. In other words, starlight is moving, not because it comes quickly, but because it arrives late, making it even more precious. What you think of as waiting is exactly the necessary process the universe gives to beauty. Ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice." He emphasized the essence of flow. The universe is the same way. It's not static, but eternally flowing evolution. The connection between you and that person is like two rivers, continuously moving forward in vast space-time. Maybe initially you're thousands of miles apart, your paths completely unrelated, but precisely because of the universe's fluidity, precisely because everything is changing, someday, you'll converge at some turning point. This turn might come very late, but its significance lies in the inevitability of lateness. Modern physicist Sung Dao Lee proposed a profound concept, symmetry breaking. The universe was almost perfectly symmetric at its initial birth, but it was those extremely subtle asymmetries that allowed matter to defeat antimatter, giving us galaxies, planets, and ourselves. In other words, it was those imperfections that achieved life. If love and destiny also operate like the universe's structure, then the so-called waiting and lateness might also be a kind of asymmetry, making the story between you and another person real and concrete. If everything were perfectly symmetric, if he appeared the moment you first called out, then that encounter might lose its unique weight. Swiss psychologist Jung proposed the concept of synchronicity. He believed some encounters aren't causal relationships, but meaningful coincidences. You might think meeting someone is accidental, like you just missed a subway train, but saw him in the next car. Jung would say, this is the universe's synchronicity at work, making seemingly unrelated events echo each other, like an invisible thread drawing you closer. This kind of thinking, when combined with how the universe operates, is like the gravitational effects between countless galaxies, appearing completely unrelated on the surface, but actually having a force in the shadows, pushing them toward the same direction. In astrophysics, there's also a theory called cosmic expansion. When American physicist Alan Guth proposed inflation theory, he explained why the universe could expand dramatically in such a short time. To its current scale, it sounds abstract, but in another understanding, the universe is using its own way to create distance, creating space for everything that follows. Isn't the person you're waiting for who hasn't arrived yet the same way? The distance between you and her might be getting stretched, not to separate you, but so that at a future moment, you can meet in the most suitable state. Without this distance and waiting, you might have already passed each other by. Instead of being destined to be each other's only one, we often say love is destiny, but philosopher Nietzsche reminds us to embrace fate. This is a positive acceptance. He doesn't want you to wait passively, but tells you every arrangement in destiny, even loneliness and emptiness, looking at it from the universe's perspective. This is like a star's life cycle. Stars don't shine the moment they're born. They need to go through fusion burning, even stages approaching collapse, before finally becoming light sources that illuminate galaxies. What you think of as lateness is actually destiny letting the right person complete their own refinement, then having the qualification to emit their own light, illuminating your life. There's an interesting overlooked scientific detail. Freeman Dyson once envisioned the Dyson sphere, a massive structure surrounding a star, to capture all its energy. This is an imaginary construct. It hints at a fact. Energy in the universe doesn't disappear into thin air. It gets collected, transformed, utilized. The waiting in love is actually like energy accumulation. Those seemingly wasted times are actually storing emotional energy. When that person finally comes to your side, this energy will pour out, forming intense resonance. Look at another miracle in the universe. Gravitational waves. In 1916, Einstein predicted the existence of gravitational waves. It wasn't until exactly 100 years later, in 2015, that humans first truly detected them. Scientists waited a century to prove a weak cosmic ripple. Isn't this waiting very much like love? You might have doubted, might have felt it was meaningless, but when that day truly comes, you discover all the waiting was worthwhile. Because it's a signal crossing space-time, finally arriving. So you see, the universe itself is a latecomer after the Big Bang. It waited hundreds of millions of years to light the first star. After Einstein's prediction, it waited 100 years to reveal gravitational waves. It nurtured life and stories in imperfect breaking. The waiting between you and that person isn't isolated, but a rhythm synchronized with the universe. Maybe you feel lonely now, but please believe, this isn't emptiness, but a process that's gestating. So the universe itself is a gentle weaver. It never rushes to reveal everything, but lets stars light up at the most suitable moment. Lets energy slowly gather while waiting. Lets life bloom miracles in imperfection. Your encounter with that person is also happening within this same order. When he arrives fashionably late, it's not absence, but like starlight, traveling a long journey, finally reaching your eyes. All the waiting isn't emptiness, but the universe using silent language to tell you, you deserve a light that arrives just right. When you look up at the starry sky, please remember, those stars all departed from their source millions of years ago, only now reaching your eyes. If light has to travel such a long road, what's strange about a person being a little late? Maybe the person you're waiting for is exactly the star that belongs to you. He's on his way, just hasn't shown into your world yet. When the moment he arrives comes, you will discover your waiting itself is a poem the universe wrote for you.